Hello, my name is Brandon Smith, and I'm doing this video for sociology. Um, so, how these different modules, I guess, impacted my life. I guess it starts back in Eastern Kentucky. That's where I'm from. I was born and raised in Pike County. It's as far east as you can get. Fun fact, it's also the biggest county east of the Mississippi in the United States. It's also a very poor county. As of the 2020 census, the average median income there is $28,000 a year per household, which is well above well below the national average. Growing up there, there was a whole lot of influence with the church in that community. I was taught about religion at a very young age, and that molded my beliefs for a really long time in a positive direction until I got a little bit older and started developing other beliefs based off of my environment with my peers. I had some friends that their family members were a little bit more well off than mine. They had bigger homes, a lot of property, and it seemed that their family members didn't have to work the hours that my dad had to work. So they got to spend more time with their families. And then I was always taught to be Democrat growing up. Democrats for the working man, for the working man. Growing up, I was being groomed into being, a left-wing Christian. Strong family values. And let's see, also, there was a lot of government assistance in that area. And people always seem to be complaining about the lack thereof, or giving people just enough just to live off of. The quality of living there was pretty bleak. Then we moved to Lexington in 1989. My father got a good job. Things started changing, and I developed a substance use disorder. And my father had went to prison by the same government that they had said wasn't doing enough, and did 22 years in the federal penitentiary system. He went when I was 14, didn't come home till I was about 36. During that time, I started developing different beliefs. I started questioning religion and this God concept. I developed a strong distrust, for the government. Also had a problem, with churches and institutions like that. And then I ended up having to go about and, do some time for the state myself. I am a two-time convicted felon. This is my second go around in school. I tried back in 2005. However, I was still heavily involved with narcotics at the time, and ended up, going down a really dark path with that. I have been sober as of August 10th, 8 years, which then leads into peer groups. On August 10th, 2015, I just served out my final sentence about a year earlier. I was still in active addiction. I found myself in a treatment center. because of government aid with Medicaid and what they called Obama phones at the time. I was able to make a phone call and get checked into a treatment facility. While there, they introduced me to a 12-step fellowship and a group of peers with that also have substance use disorder. While being there and going to Halfway House, was able to take these people's suggestions, look at some things that had haunted me from my past, overcome a lot of difficult times. Over the past 8 years without a peer group, I'm 100% certain I would not be alive nor sober today. Or if I were alive, I definitely would be incarcerated somewhere because of antisocial and very I want to say defective beliefs that I'd had based off of a maladjusted perspective of life. So these people took me under their wing, gave me accountability and responsibility, showed me unconditional love, helped me pick myself up off the ground, showed me a way to live in which works. Since then, I have formulated new opinions of the government. Personal opinion, I now believe all government is corrupt, not just one side, that they mostly serve their own best interest, and they rally around the lobbyist. I'm very apolitical since I'm involved in the stock market. That's why I formulated these new political beliefs and parties. As far as religion goes, I have no problem with any religion at all anymore, or religious people. I'm more of a spiritual person, really non-judgmental when it comes to people and their beliefs and, a creator of the universe or God or whatever they want to call it. It's none of my business. I'm a big proponent of the mental health field for obvious reasons. I'm diagnosed with SUD, adult ADD, clinical depression, and CPTSD. I'll take no medications for any of those. It's purely based off of the peer support groups that I'm involved in, as well as counseling, and teaching me to live in a different way to be able to cope, with my diagnoses. Things seem to be working well. I'm back into this field. It wasn't by choice. People kept telling me that I should get into the mental health field, and I didn't want to because it was too heartbreaking, specifically the field that we're in with social work. However, since being here, I've seen a lot of corrupt entities, especially in the SUD sector. And it's inspired me to go back to school to be able to start my own thing. Just to provide a better quality of service for people still struggling in the community. And that's a little brief history about, my take on the directions for the assignment. I appreciate it, and hope you had a great weekend.